Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class. This particular class is featuring a fun fold card, one that I shared on my blog about a month ago. I'm calling it the Accordion Stretch Card. It uses 12 by 12 paper in such a way where you don't have to chop up parts of it. It's just amazing. If you have gorgeous paper that you just don't want to cut, this is a great card for it. So it is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025 at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. And I want you to give a warm welcome to Trisha Joseph. She is my moderator. She's here to answer questions during the live. So excuse me, I'm still dealing with the cold. Oh my goodness, I thought I'd coughed it all out before we went live. But anyways, Trisha Josephs is here with us live, and she is going to be a great asset to all of you if you have questions, because I don't always catch the live comments as we are going along. I try to focus in on the teaching, and she's here to help out with checking all the comments and all of that. So you'll see her name. It has a little wrench symbol next to it. If you want to tag her, if she's not catching your question, you can tag her by typing the @ sign and then start typing her name, Tricia Josephs, and you'll be able to click on her name, and then she'll definitely see it. A welcome to all of you, especially those of you that continue to come back time and time again. I'm so grateful to all of you for supporting my channel. And I'm also grateful for my supporting members. We have fans and supporter members, people who purchase monthly towards my channel. Thank you so much. Those of you that are supporting members at the $5.99 level, you get an extra video a month. And I'm going to show you the cards that we did after I demonstrate today. I'm going to show you the cards that we did on that private video for my members, so you can check those out. We'll do that at the end. And I also have a supply sheet, a little PDF to go along with this. The blog post that's connected to this video is already linked in the description of the video, so you can click there already and see photos of the card. You'll be able to access the PDF and download that so that you can print that off or store it on your computer or whatever. It basically has the supplies, the measurements, and photos, the date and the title. So it's a great reference sheet, and then it helps you to lead back to my channel and watch the videos. So fun to see you all here. Okay, it looks like we have 116 viewers right now. That's amazing. Thank you, you guys. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you before we start? I think that's it. It says demonstrate next on my sheet. So we'll just go down to the desktop and we'll check out the cards that were featured in my blog last month. This one was shared on June 1st. It is related to the card I'm going to demonstrate today, and then the other one after it is June 5th. So let me show you this. This is made with the Floral Impressions suite of products. We have the paper, gorgeous paper, which is why I had to feature it, and of course the little bumblebee embellishments, and check this out. So it opens up like this. And then we have a little door that opens up. I want to have some tape still on there. But it's just a great way. This whole piece is 12 inches. And how can you cut that into small parts, right? It's a whole rainbow of flowers. So it was the perfect card for this. And then this card here was featured on June 5th. So again, if you go to my website at StampYourArtOut.com, you can go back to those posts. You can even search by month. It can help you to, dwindle things down to where you want to find them. There's also a project library. A lot of you don't know that. If you click the About Me tab and then you go to Project Library, you can see a little photograph of all the projects that I share on my blog. That might be helpful. This is done with the Mediterranean Blooms suite of products, one of my favorites. It's been around for a while, but I just can't stop being in love with it. And then it opens up like that. And then the last card is the one that I'm going to be sharing today. So this is done with the Painterly Pears suite of products, which just released into the online store on July 1st, so yesterday. Those of us that are demonstrators, we can pre-order a month early on most products, and this was one of them. So I've been playing around with it, and this is the gorgeous paper within that, and the extra little door, okay? I did list the stamp set as part of the card, the supplies that I'm sharing today, but I actually didn't use that stamp set. I used a stamp set called the right words instead for the sentiments, but you could use the stamp set. If you wanted to, you could stamp these pears, these leaves, and you could put it together yourself. You could color with blends markers or things like that. Okay, so let's check out the suite. Let's see what's in it. So as we drop things on the floor, we have the beautiful paper, which I'll show you at the end. We have some embellishments, which I'll show you in a minute. But these are the two main parts of the suite. Usually it surrounds a bundle. We have the Perfectly Pears stamp set and Perfectly Pears dies. And you can see that you could stamp those images instead of just die cutting them from the paper. When I show you the paper, you'll be able to see what sheet I pulled them from. But that might make it a little bit longer to make the card. But if you like to do the artistry stuff, you can definitely stamp. And then these are the dies, and they coordinate. They don't come on this magnet sheet, by the way. You can find the magnet sheet and the little envelopes in My Favorite Extras on my website. So just go to stampyourartout.com, click on My Favorite Extras, and you'll be able to see all kinds of goodness, things that you can't purchase through the Stampin' Up! Store, okay? But these dies, you can see there are like outline dies that help to frame these images, so you can just stamp the flowers and cut them right out. Then we have a couple label type dies for the words. We have some background little images, and we have this beautiful leaf. So we'll be playing around with the dies for sure. Then we have the embellishments, and the embellishments are gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look at that. They've got this beautiful little sheen to them. These are called the low profile sparkle dots, and they definitely have sparkle to them. I believe this would be like Misty Moonlight, Garden Green, and Daffodil Delight, but we can look on the designer paper and find that out. The designer paper lists on the back side the coordinating colors. This here is our Mossy Meadow and Gold 1/4 inch ribbon, and it is shimmery. It is so pretty. We'll be using that on the card, and we'll be using the paper. So the dies, the and the paper are what I'm featuring. But let's see the designer paper now. So these are like the A sides of the paper. We have a bunch of really ripe pears, and then the back side of that. This is the one that you can die cut from, and the back side of that, which is lovely. Little clusters of pears, and the back side. This one is great for like scrapbooking or, you know, just kind of more of like a focal point type of project. And the back side. This is the one that we'll be cutting today, and the back side of that. And then this is another one that would be great. In fact, this paper you could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and remember you get double of all this, so that's 12. You could make 12 cards from just these 2 sheets. And then with this one, I would say you could even cut this strip and this strip for your cards. So you could get what, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards from this. And if you look at this sheet here and you get twice as many of those, you could get, I believe, like 18 sets of pears out of those 2 sheets. I believe that's what it was when I cut. And then let's peek at the paper colors. We have Basic Beige, Darling Duckling. That was the yellow on the embellishments. Mossy Meadow instead of Garden Green, sorry. Maybe even Old Olive. And then Petal Pink and Secret Sea. Secret Sea was the blue. But you could see how it would coordinate with other colors. In fact, we're going to be using Misty Moonlight for our cardstock. And I have for you, see, you can see how that could be Misty Moonlightish, right? But this is the Misty Moonlight regular cardstock, 8.5 by 11. And this is the Misty Moonlight 12 by 12 two-toned. And you can see that the dark side of the two-toned works pretty well at matching up with the cardstock. And then this side is the lighter version. So that's what's great about two-tone cardstock is you get a nice light version, which typically, you know, you have to like stamp off to get that for like stamp images too, right? So it's nice to have two tones. We are cutting a card base with the Misty Moonlight. I'm going to cut this 11 inches, so I know it's already 12, so we're trimming off 1 inch. And now I have my 11 inch by 4 1/4. I'm going to score that at 5.5 inches. And you want to press lightly because this is thinner cardstock. I love how I missed who it was that said it, but they said it reminded her of wallpaper, the pear paper. Okay, we're going to move this out of the way. It does, doesn't it? It looks like wallpaper. All right, and then we need to cut this piece, and this piece is going to be 12 by 4 inches. Okay, and that we're going to keep at 12 by 4. We're going to score it. We're going to score starting at 3 inches, and we're going to score at 3, 4. Let me open the arm of my trimmer. 5. Nice, easy measurements to remember. 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then I'm going to make sure that this is 12 inches because sometimes cardstocks and papers can be cut slightly off, like a 1/16 of an inch or whatever. So we're going to move to the 12-inch mark here and just see. Yep, it has just a tiny little fraction. Let's see if we can slice that tiny little fraction off. Just a little hair. And now I have all those shreddies right in the channel of my trimmer. Hang on. We'll just clean that out. Okay. Now we're going to turn this around and we're going to trim that at 2 inches. You know what? Hang on a minute because I don't think I got it quite trimmed. My blade isn't quite as sharp as I thought. We have just a little bit of fringy there. I turned it around too, you guys, so it should have been sharp, but maybe I've used that side of the blade before. When I change my blades, so let's say this was a fresh blade. Okay, I don't write on it. I stick it in there and I use it. And I always push with my blades. That's just my action that I take. And then when it starts to get dull and the paper starts to get little fringes on it, then I take and I bring it to the base again, angle it, take it out, and I turn it around and I push it in there. But I mark it. I just put a little mark on there to show that I've already turned it around once. So maybe this blade has been used in both directions and I didn't know it. Okay, let's do that 2 inch at the end. So this is still 12 by 4. We just made sure it was exactly 12. And now we're going to turn in this direction. Sorry, I don't mean to confuse you. Here it is. We're going to cut off 2 inches here. And I don't know why it flipped it over. It didn't need to. But we're going to turn it around and we're going to cut here at 2 inches. Okay? You don't need to make a little secret flap on the inside. You could just tape the paper down as is and then put just a label on the top. But I love to see the whole paper, especially on this one here. I mean, how can you cover up, like let's say we just had that label on. You'd be covering up all of those little pretty flowers there. So I made it so you could open it up and not have a huge little label here that you would write on. Okay, I made a smaller label, but not a big one. Okay, now we will take and put those off to the side. The next thing that we want to prepare is our scraps that we're going to die cut, and I've already trimmed those away from that big sheet, so we're going to die cut those. We're going to have 1 1¼ inches of this designer paper, 1 1/4 by 4. And then we need some white cardstock. And I just have some scrap here. I'm going to cut that to 4 inches. 4 inches by 4 inches. Actually, you know what? For this one, since we have a larger scrap, I'm going to make this one my 4 inch by 4 1/4. Because you're actually going to use 3 pieces of white, but 2 of them are larger. One is 4 by 4 and one is 4 by 4 1/4. So we're going to make this one the 4 by 4 1/4, and that's going to get scored. Oh gosh, I have to show you the little PDF sheet. That one's going to get scored at 2 1/4. And then we need one more, and that one's going to be 4 by 4. All right, so one last piece of, actually we need 2 scraps that we're going to die cut from. So we need some Misty Moonlight, and this is going to be the lighter side that we want up. We have some Daffodil Delight. I suppose I could have used Darling Duckling, but I used Daffodil Delight because that's the color I thought it was. And then we need a strip for our sentiment, our outside sentiment, and that's 3/4 of an inch tall. We are going to trim that to 2, what did I say, 2 1/8. We might as well just do that now. 2 1/8. Okay, so I think we have them all. Note that all of these cards, when folded shut, fit into our medium size envelopes. Okay, they are the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch size. Let's do some die cutting next. Die cutting time. Here we go. We need these pieces here. Our yellow, our Misty Moonlight scrap, light side, and then our pear pieces. So we're going to bring in a machine called the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right. You guys are talking about some kind of tip. I shared a tip a while ago, and now I don't even know what I just shared, but I'm glad that it helped. All right, we need, for our platform, number 1, number 2 for the die adapters, die adapter plate, I should say. Number 3, where's my number? Here it is. Number 3, and I try to work with the curve, you guys. It's kind of curving down, so we'll work with the curve. And then we have another plate number 3. We're going to use some sticky notes or Post-it notes to help hold things in place. Let me grab my dies. And we'll lay this all out. I don't think we're going to be able to get it all on, but we'll try. All right, so we have our leaf. We have our flower. Oh yeah, we might be able to. And then we have our pear. And I'm just going to tear that up so that we can use smaller pieces of it. Hopefully I can catch both parts of the paper there. And then we have our leaves. So you can use sticky notes for this. You can use Post-it flags. You can just eyeball it and pray that it works out. Some people still have the magnetic platform that Stampin' Up! Used to carry. That's a nice tool, although I believe it was kind of caused problems, which is probably why Stampin' Up! Stopped carrying it. But I want to say that there was something with, I don't know, it would warp plates or something like that. Is that what was happening? I'm connecting my sticky note to this paper, this die, and then some paper on the outside. Okay, and then we need this one for our flowers. And there are a couple different flowers from the dies. This one is a grouping of flowers which you would have to cut up, but this one has separate flowers. So we're just going to do a trail of those and our leaf. And that's going to go on here. All right, let's see if we can do this. Our other cutting mat goes on top. It looks like we have everything set up. We're going to angle that in, slowly bring it right down on top, line up everything, make sure nothing's shifted, and crank it through. You bought the Post-it note tape on Amazon? Yeah, I have that here. What's this stuff here? And then you can cut it to whatever size you want. I think I still have that linked in my favorite extras if you guys aren't sure where to find it, but just go to stampyourartout.com and then click on my favorite extras under shop. You like the washi tape to connect? Okay, this is great. All right, so we've got all of our little pieces off of here. There's our flowers and our die cut pears and our leaves. This is so fun. I love die cutting. It's one of the most satisfying things, isn't it? To be able to see all of that work done so quickly when we used to have to fussy cut around images. Oh, Rachel, don't throw it on the table. Just use your scissors or your little brush and poke it out. I like to throw them on the table. Have you guys done that before, where you throw your dies on the table and it helps to separate the paper from the die? So there's that. Let's clean up our mess. Okay, shove the dies off to the side. Oh, we still have another flower. We need all our flowers. Maybe. Did I use all of them? I think I did. I think we used all the flowers. And that scrap is pretty much done. So we can trash that. Don't throw away your dies. Don't throw away your dies. In fact, if you want to, you can get one of these trays, these hex trays from the Country Hive. And when you're done using your dies, you just throw them in there and it's magnetic. And it helps to keep all of them kind of from moving around on your table. Gotta love that. All right, so we have all of our pieces die cut. Next, we're going to do some ink blending. So let's take our 4x4 piece of cardstock. This is our 4 1/4 by 4. This is our 4x4. This one's going to be on the front. And we're going to bring in blending brushes. Okay, the two inks that we'll be using for the card are Secret Sea and Daffodil Delight. Again, you could use Darling Duckling. I just chose Daffodil Delight because I wasn't looking at the papers. This is a Tailored Expressions little container. I love holding my blending brushes in here. Another thing from the favorite extras if you want. But we're just going to ink up our blending brush, test it on the side, go over the middle, and start in the middle and swirl around in circles. Pam likes to throw them on the table too. I don't know, there's something satisfying about it, right? Kelly, I love it. You need a hex tray? Yeah, thecountryhive.com. Make sure you don't forget the at the beginning. Okay, so we've got our nice little haze of sunshine, and that's going to be like this perfect little glow that shows up behind the pears. So you want to make it wide, but not, all the way to the edge of the paper. And then, what else do we need before we start assembling? We need to stamp on these two pieces here with our other stamp. Okay, here's where our score line is. This is our 2-inch section. This is our 2 1/4-inch section. We'll use a bone folder, give it a nice crisp crease. So the way that this will work is this 2-inch piece will sit on top like that, and this will slide under slightly, and that's how it will look on the card. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting to share with you the PDF. Come on over here. Okay, here's the PDF that you're able to print off my website. Now, in fact, again, my blog post went live about an hour ago. And so you should be able to click there. There's a link in the description of the video. Click there and you can scroll down and access this PDF, which includes the photos of the card, the name, the date, the measurements, and the supplies. And the supplies are clickable. So anything that you want to shop from, you can click on them and you can shop. Okay, back to the desktop. So let's keep that in mind as we are opening this up, that we're going to want to center our sentiment here. Okay, here's our Secret Sea. Let's open that up and grab our stamp and our sticky notes again. So your sticky notes can also be used as masks. We're going to just put a sticky note here. I probably should have just used a full one, but I'm using my scraps that I just used. So we're covering up some words that we don't want to ink up, and we're going to ink up the rest of the stamp. We're going to pull these away, and you can see only the bottom stamp image is inked up. We're going to turn it over. What's that? What's that? And we're going to stamp it down. And we're going to press firm, but not rock. Okay, there was a little bit of a, see, when you score, you're going to have that issue. And it didn't happen when I demonstrated for my YouTube members, but it did today. So we will grab, where are they? My Secret Sea marker. And we're just going to fill it in. There. Single. Every single day. Now we can read it. It's not as perfect as the stamp, but it's good. It's good enough, and it's homemade, so it's totally fine. We're going to clean off our stamp now. And you can clean off your stamp with like a damp washcloth. These are water-soluble inks, the ones that I'm sharing today. So a damp washcloth, maybe a baby wipe that doesn't have a lot of chemical stuff in it, you know, a clean baby wipe. Or you can get our chamois or the scrub and mist like I use. I use the scrub and mist. Now we're going to test the stamp, and I don't see any ink coming off of it. So now we can mask the other side. And we're going to, oh, here it is. Every single day. So we're masking the every single day part. I'm going to grab new ones. This is where you could use the Post-it tape, any kind of tape. You could. I like to use like Scotch tape, if you know what that is. Okay, we're going to cover up the every single day. Oh, I'm going to grab the Scotch tape. I think my Post-it is too big for this tiny little part. And this is a little stickier for that section. Okay, so we're covering that up. And then we're inking up To Someone Worth Celebrating. Peel this away. Don't get it on your hands. Oh, we didn't get it all. Hang on, we're going to have to stick it back on. We're having masking problems today. Okay, stick that back on. I didn't ink up the whole stamp. Do you see that? Oh my goodness, Rachel. Rachel. There always has to be something that happens in the video when it's live. Okay, ink it up and make sure it's totally inked before you remove your tape. Yes, we have ink all the way to the top. We have messy fingers. And that looks good. Okay, now we're going to throw this in the garbage. We're going to grab a tissue. We're going to lick the non-toxic ink off our hands. Oh, that looks pretty good. Not so messy anymore. All right, back to the drawing board. Now we have this little strip here, and this is going to stamp into that strip. Remember that these are not totally clear stamps, so you have to trust yourself. Maybe you want to test on your scrap paper first or whatever. I'm just going to trust that I'm going to stamp it in the right place, and if it doesn't stamp in the right place, we can flip it over and try it again. Okay, let's try this. Exhale to remoisten, center, and stamp, and pray. And that looks pretty darn good. Yay! I'm keeping it. Okay, we have our stamping done. Now, close up this ink. We can start assembling. Grab our base cardstock, and we're going to have the darker color facing out. We're going to take our bone folder, which disappears. Oh, it's right here. And we're going to crease that. Then we're going to put this stuff on the inside. I think we'll do that. Maybe we should do the outside first. I did the outside first or last on the other card, but let's do the outside first. I'm just accordion folding this right now so you can see how that works. It's going to look like this. Let's just set that aside. Let's do the front first. Okay, so for the front, we want our white off to the right where the flap opens up. It's going to be a portrait style card. It opens in this direction. Thanks, Debbie. Aw, thanks, Kelly. It's good to see you there, by the way. All right, where is my tape? Here it is. Seal tape. Seal tape. Come on. It was doing this to me the last time I demonstrated, wasn't it? Okay. Seal tape is a dry tape runner. It's not wet glue. Great for when you want a nice flat type of adhesive and you want to do something quickly and not so messy. Glue, like the multi-purpose liquid glue, is a great money saver, and you can get into little corners and crevices. Okay, we have that on. Now we're going to take this piece and add that. Now I put my adhesive all the way around the four sides. You don't need to. You can put just a little in each corner if you'd like to. Okay, you can do that. That's also going to save you some money. We're going to add that down like that, and we're checking to make sure that we have 1/8 of an inch. It's hard to see with the two colors so close to each other. As in intensity is pretty much the same there, but there's 1/8 of an inch all the way around these edges. Then we're going to add this piece, and this piece we're going to add with our multi-purpose liquid glue because it's very, very thin and tiny. I like to transfer it into the precision tip bottle, as many of you know. And instead of the dark side, we're going to use the light side, which I think shows off a little bit better. So let's flip it to the dark side to put our glue on. And there we go. So the precision tip bottle allows you to really be careful on how much glue comes out. The other bottle, the hole is bigger. Okay, and we're putting glue behind every part, but we're being very careful to be sparing on the side of the leaf that has like little cuts in it. Do you see that there are some cuts in there? Try to not get too much glue in those areas. Then we'll just lay this down like so that we're following that seam of where the two papers meet. And then we can take and trim this little end here. Here's our paper snips, because we don't want that sticking out beyond the ribbon. The ribbon is next, and I don't remember how much ribbon. Let me take a peek at that. Hang on. We have to grab that sheet up again here. The PDF says 13 inches. Let's try 13 inches. We have on our grid paper these little measuring rulers along here. So you can take and just go to the 13-inch mark, trim it. And there are kind of like two different sides to this. I don't know if you guys own this ribbon yet, if you're a demonstrator, but one side seems to be brighter than the other side. Do you notice that? One side tends to be more gold. So I'm kind of wanting the gold to show more. So as I tie this, and I think I'm going to tie it this way. As I tie this, I'm trying to keep my gold side up, okay? So I did the right over left. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, we have our right over left. And then we tuck that one down, folding it in half. And we're going to pull. We're going to use our ring finger, and we're going to hold it right there. And we're going to train our other fingers to do another overhand knot. Left over right. Fold it. Now you'll see that my gold side happens to stay upright on both of them, which is great. But you can always do a little twist at the end if you want one side of your ribbon to show better. Now I didn't put any glue in underneath. I don't like to glue my ribbons down before I tie because then I can't shift, okay? If you're having clogged glue issues, I saw someone's comment, Vicky's, if you're having clogged glue bottle issues, is it this one here? What I do is I store mine with the cap on, closed upside down, and I make sure that it's, not clogged before I store it upside down. You could do like a little push pin, like a little pin, and you could poke it down in there to clean it before you do that. The glue bottles that I buy haven't had that issue for me. But if you are using it a long time and you're leaving it unplugged like this, the top part can get dry and you can create a little cluster in there that clogs your glue tip. So always, recap it when you're not using it. Hope that helps. And in my favorite extras where you can purchase, there's a link to these bottles, I do have a link to a video where I share how to fill it, because you want to make sure that the glue isn't touching the sides when you fill it. Okay, let's do some trimming. Hopefully those answers helped. Another thought though is maybe in your area, maybe there's just an issue with, like climate-wise. Sometimes climate affects some of our products. You could, because it's a water-soluble type of glue, you could add just a dash of water to it and then just shake it for like while you're watching a show and try to get that water to integrate into the glue, and that should thin it out a little bit. Okay, I wouldn't do that right away though. I'd try the other two options first. So now you can see little peaks of leaves going along there. And then we will add our pears. And for this pear, that one's gonna kind of be the star of the show, plus it's bigger. So because it's bigger, we wanna make sure that it's down further on the card and overlapping the smaller pears, which are up higher and look like they're further back, okay? So as we do this, another thought too is just to connect this tip right now if we can. Just put a little bit of glue there and see if we can connect that tip. Because I didn't do that earlier, and I think that would be helpful if we saw the whole height of the pear as we're adding it. You keep a pin in the tip? Okay. Hot water to clean them out. Okay. Have to use a pair of reverse tweezers. Oh, for holding things? Yeah, for holding those tiny little things. The reverse tweezers are great. Stampin' Up! Has those, by the way, in the embossing tools kit, toolkit. So there, now we can see pretty much where it's going to sit on our card. We're going to have our sentiment piece coming across there. So because that fits right there pretty well, let's go ahead and glue this down. Well, tape it down. We'll just put a little bit of seal tape there. We'll tuck it behind like that. And then we'll flip this over and we'll add some dimensionals. And you can get different size dimensionals. Stampin' Up! Carries a couple different sizes. We have white and black dimensionals. But you can also, like if this leaf area was too thin for you, you could take and cut it if you don't want to buy the two different sizes. Or if you only have the small ones, just use more. But now we have the backings to peel off. And you can use the scissors or take your pick tool to help pull those off if your fingernails are not talented like mine. I have very, very thin, talented fingernails. They help remove price tag stickers and all kinds of things. All right, so let's put that right about here. And again, you could stamp these images and color them in instead, or use the imagery in the stamp set, so you don't even have to color them in. You could take and stamp the inside color on the pear that way. Next, let's do some flowers. No, let's do this next. Let's do this piece next. So we want to take and cut. So to someone worth celebrating, we're going to cut just about 1/8 of an inch in to the middle like that. Can you see that? It's blurry. Sorry. Okay, so we're cutting about 1/8 of an inch in, and then we're going to go from corner to that mark. Ooh, I need to clean off my scissors. There's glue on them. And then corner to mark. And now we have a little cute banner end here. I'm going to grab my bone folder, curl it just a bit, add this on with dimensionals. And it's going to sit right here. So I know that we could put a dimensional there, and we'll put one at the end. Here's, like if you use the take your pick tool or scissors idea, you just take and poke in and it grabs it. I don't demonstrate that again because my fingernails are just thin enough to grab, but if you're having trouble because you have manicures or things like that, thick polish. Okay. No, they have not returned yet, Debbie. She's asking about my travelers. My hubby and my youngest son went to Vienna. They're coming back Monday, and they're having a blast. 2.5 weeks, you guys. Isn't that crazy fun? So, and then we're going to go ahead and add our flowers. So you can take and just put little glue onto each one. And if you want to, you can grab the little tweezers. That would probably help. My tweezers is far away. It's upstairs in the kitchen because I was doing something with it in there. So I can't grab it right now. But yeah, the little tweezers would be very helpful for this portion of this step here. So I'm putting little flowers on here, and we're going to put little insides on them too. So don't worry about the insides showing that white cardstock through there. Totally fine. I'm going to stick one down on top of the end of the pear. I'm missing one of my flowers, you guys, so we might have to have this one. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So does anyone have any big weekend plans, especially if you live in the US? It's a holiday weekend. We'll add one right there. And Nick is doing great. Thank you, Kelly, for asking. He goes to another appointment today, and he moves from his cast to a boot. So we are excited about that. Okay, so there we have our flowers. And instead of using the beautiful embellishments, which I could have done, I just wanted the flowers in there. We're using pearls and the flowers for the embellishments. So these are the iridescent basic, pearl basic jewels is what they're called. And we'll grab our take your pick tool, use the gummy end, push, slide, push, slide. I love how this just picks it right up. Isn't that amazing? I love this take your pick tool. So that's done. Let's do the inside. The inside of the card needs this little gorgeous, you know what, we're gonna add that thing last. Let's add this piece first. We can crease it down really hard here too to make sure that it's in place. Okay, now we'll put some adhesive on this panel here. And we're just going up to the crease line. Make sure that your pears are not going to be upside down. This one's going to connect with 1/8 of an inch on the left edge, the top edge, and the bottom edge. And you may want to just kind of lay out your paper to make sure it's getting added straight. Okay, next, we're going to add this paper. And this one, we're going to glue down the side that is wider, the 2 1/4 inch wide section. Do you like the magnetic plate that you got off of Amazon, Virginia? She mentioned that she's using that for holding her dies in place. Okay, so see how that works? We have our extra 1/4 inch here, and that's going to allow our paper to have some leeway, okay? So we're not going to stick this down permanently yet. We want it to work so that when the card opens up, it's going to line up, but when it closes, it needs to be able to close down, okay? So we're going to add it closed first with just a little bit of adhesive right there to make sure. We're going to close this on top of it, and oops, didn't work. Hang on. We're going to close that on top of it. And good, see, it's lining up. Perfect. We didn't have this tilted or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and lift that. And we're going to add our seal adhesive. See how I'm keeping it nice and flat on my card? Oops, I moved it. Oops, I moved it. And then flatten it back down. Let's check it again. Make sure that it closes. Oh yeah, that worked. We did it, we did it, yay! Okay, and then this piece, there's a small little white gap there. So instead of having this like right to the edge here, we can shift it over a little bit because we have some room. Look at that, we have a little bit of room. So I would add this last just to make sure that it's going to be in a good place. Okay, let's keep that nice and flat. And again, you could put another little sentiment on the outside of this if you wanted to. Like right here, as I did on this card. But it's going to flap open, so they're going to see that kind of peel away as the card gets opened by them. To someone worth celebrating every single day. Yay! We did it. I have 2 other pair cards that I made because, I'm just going to put these out so you can see the outside and the inside at the same time in case you want to. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Isn't this a fun way to do a card? All right, but I have a couple other pair cards that I want to show you. These 2 cards here were done with lots of stamping. little daubers to get the multicolored inks inside. And then there was a little bit of blends markers around the edges to complete, to make sure that the colors went right to the edge of the outline. So I used these stamps, the Perfectly Pears, stamped the little grouping of the pair of pears down here, and then used daubers to fill in. Blends markers filled in the leaves because we don't have a solid leaf to fill those in. We do for this one, but not for these little guys. So then I brought in the blends markers. And there are some cards that also show off some beautiful papers. So these are the cards that I demonstrated last Saturday for my YouTube supporting members. Become a supporting member and you can go back and watch those videos. But I have two other cards that I made similar to them, and they are showing off the Florals in Blooms suite of products. Now, why am I going to the Florals in Blooms suite of products right now? Because our All-Star group is featuring that suite this month. And I'm going to show you in the catalog on pages 40 through 47 the Florals in Bloom display. So there's lots of gorgeous samples. This is actually the star of the, oh yeah, maybe not the complete star, but you can see up here, oh yeah, it is. It's the star of the front of the catalog. So you can see all of this imagery here is from the Florals in Bloom suite. And then you'll see it on pages 40 through 47. I think they might even have, let's just peek in the beginning. Sometimes they even feature, yeah, see, I mean, look at that. That's part of the Florals in Bloom suite. So just wanted to point that out to you, that that's the suite that we are featuring this month in our All-Star video class bundles. Every month we feature a suite of products, and we each do a project using that product, do a video, a how-to video on it, and then we have PDFs with the measurements in both metric and imperial, a supply list, links to the videos, photographs, and that sort of thing. And it's like a whole bunch of great ideas all in one PDF. We are offering a subscription offer this month. This is the start of a new 6-month period, so July through December, if you want to get all 6. And this is typically for someone who isn't my customer or doesn't purchase a lot from me or whatever, just purchases a little. Or you're another demonstrator out there and you want some great ideas or whatever. But because I'll tell you why in just a minute. But anyways, if you purchase a subscription, you save on one of the months. So it's $15 for each bundle. And at the if you add that all up, that would be what? $90 altogether for 6 months worth. You would be paying $75. So you have a $15 savings if you want to do it that way. And then you get them automatically sent to you on the first or shortly thereafter of the month for each suite of products. So this month's is Florals in Bloom. These are not the cards that I featured in there. They're exclusive projects. We don't share them on the internet. You have to purchase the bundle in order to see them. So you'll want to check that out. And what else did I want to tell you about that? Trying to think. Oh, I was going to tell you, the reason why I say if you're not a customer of mine, that's why it makes sense. Because if you're a customer of mine and you're purchasing $50 worth of product each month, you're going to be getting them free. Anytime you purchase $50 worth of product from me in a particular month, you get that All-Star Video Class bundle sent to you. So, bonus. Or if you're a Stampers with Art star, you're one of my community members, one of my demonstrators, discount shoppers, whatever you want to call yourself, but you're on the demonstrator side of things and you're in my team, then you get it for free. Italian paper from Florence. The Florals in Bloom paper does? Okay. Alrighty. I haven't seen that kind of paper, but that sounds interesting. Now I want to like Google it. Trying to think if there's, oh, here's my other things. Okay, so we have new online products that just got released. Painterly Pears Suite, or the Perfectly Pears bundle and papers and all that stuff. That's part of the new release of products. I'm going to bring it to my computer again, and we're just going to take a peek. We're going to start at my homepage. So we'll go here. And when you're on stampyourartout.com, if you click on shop, you can go directly to my online store. Okay, we're going to click on my online store. It's going to bring us shopping. And you can see new July products. So there's some more Painterly Pears. Anyways, if you click on that, it's going to take you to the new releases that just debuted yesterday. So check that out. Other things, the virtual album retreat. Oh, you guys, you're missing out if you don't sign up for this. This is something that close to my heart, customers and makers did all the time, and it is so worth the money, I promise you. It seems like a high price point, but you get an event with it. You get all that product for 12 two-page spreads, stamp sets to use over and over again later on. I'm sure there's going to be extra supplies too. Maybe I'll need to make something with those extra supplies so that I can make all of you sad that you didn't purchase it. No, just kidding. But you'll want to purchase the virtual album retreat. Let's see here, specials, what's new? Virtual album retreat. Check it out in the online store. You can see all about it. Just read all about it and ask me questions if you have any. But I hope that you participate. It's a fun thing. Plus you get, what is it? It's $250. You're going to get 5 loyalty points from me if you purchase it through me. 5 loyalty points. You only need 10 in a year and you get a stamp set. So you're halfway towards a free stamp set by purchasing the virtual album retreat through me. Another reason. Upcoming lives. I have some lives that I do every week, and I'm going to go to our YouTube. Let's see here. You know what? I'm just going to tell you where it's at. If you're on my YouTube channel, you can go to the top portion there and click the see more or whatever. It's going to open up and there's a calendar link so you can see when my next lives are. My next one is coming up next week on July 8th. It's a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday because on Wednesday I am flying out of town. So on Tuesday, please join me at 11 a.m. Central Time. Same time as today, only we're just shifting it a day earlier, okay? And I think that is it. So I'm going to let you guys all go. Let's give a big round of applause to Miss Trisha Josephs for helping us through the video and answering questions, sharing links. She's so wonderful. And thank you again to all my members that support my channel. Thank you to all of you who continue to come back and your subscribers to my channel. Please subscribe, like, share, all of that. Thank you so much. And anybody who's new, thank you for sticking around and watching my video. I hope that you return. Thanks, everybody. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.